keeping up with COVID vaccine demand.
So a lot of pharmacies ordered very little doses, and unfortunately the demand actually has been huge.
The wait list some Calgary pharmacies are seeing. The needs and wants from a federal budget.
There's a strong need around infrastructure funding.
And what Calgarians will watch for on Tuesday.
Trying to find an affordable rental place is impossible these days.
And the plea to Calgary drivers ahead of the holidays.
Her life continues. Our life sentence is to mourn him every day.
Families of impaired driving victims launch an annual campaign.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Jordan Cannigan.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Calgary pharmacies are having trouble stocking COVID-19 vaccines as supply struggles to keep up with demand. Wait lists have started for when supply does arrive from Pfizer. It comes as the province says it's administering vaccines through the public system, but either way will cost you. Tyson Fedor reports.
Staff at this Northwest pharmacy want to offer COVID-19 vaccines to patients, but their supply is running out.
The demand is actually quite high. We weren't sure what to expect at the beginning of the year, knowing that patients would have to pay for it, but definitely the demand right now is outstripping supply.
Randy Howden has even started a wait list with more than 40 people signing up for a dose.
I think a lot of people aren't putting their name on the wait list because they're calling around trying to find it elsewhere.
Pfizer Canada manufactures the shot for private pharmacies in Alberta. The company says it's implemented temporary allocation measures to help manage supply due to increased demand for the shots.
So we have no idea when more vaccine will be coming or how much we'll get. We just have to watch the warehouse website, and if it comes up available for order, trying to order what we can.
If you purchase the shot through the province's public clinics, it costs about $100. Pharmacies are charging around $136 a dose and adding an additional $20 fee. But some pharmacists are waiving that fee.
It's been a huge mess overall. We're happy that the demand is high, but we're very frustrated that we're not able to participate in the provincial program.
And Calgarians have mixed reviews on the vaccine process.
Put my name on the list, and I went in, got it, and it was that easy. Not happy with the price, very expensive. I was able to put it through for my benefits. I still had to pay, but to pay $100, no, I wouldn't have gone.
Ray Billow and his wife received the vaccine Monday morning from a public clinic, but he says the process has been a nightmare.
My wife and I have been very frustrated with the public healthcare system in Alberta with respect to the COVID vaccination. And this year our experience has been the worst.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, officials with the Ministry of Primary and Preventative Health Services say there is no shortage of vaccines and that the province's approach aligns with the National Advisory Committee on Immunization, recommending the vaccine to those at higher risk and considering it optional for most people. Well, post-secondary students are now walking out of class in support of Alberta teachers. These students from the Alberta University of the Arts and SAIT protested this morning. The UCP government's decision to end the teachers' strike and force them back to school has angered many Albertans, including those with a vested interest in public education.
I know for me personally, I have a special needs sister, so we've been advocating for better support in the classrooms, better class sizes and all of that. And since day one, and there's still no change.
Meanwhile, the province's use of the notwithstanding clause continues to face backlash. At a town hall on Saturday, chants started for the recall of MLA Rajan Sani. A website called Operation Total Recall is tracking efforts to recall UCP MLAs. A petition has already been approved for the Education Minister. Today, Alberta's Chief Electoral Officer told a legislative committee a recall campaign has also been approved for Airdrie's Angela Pitt. Gordon McClure also asked for an additional $13 million to deal with recalls and referendums. The committee, which is majority UCP, reduced that request to $1.4 million and are forwarding it to the Finance Minister. Well, the province is making it mandatory to report reading and math screening results to parents for Alberta's youngest learners. Students in kindergarten to grade 3 undergo literacy and numeracy screening to see if they are struggling and need further support. If passed, new legislation would see a mandatory requirement to report these findings to parents. The screening results would also be shared with the province.
This helps us understand what support is needed in particular schools and will help ensure that we make the right decisions to lift up all students.
The changes would come into effect for the next school year. Screenings would take place in the winter for kindergarten students and in the fall and winter for grade 1 to 3 students. Mr. Nicolaides says $11 million is going to conduct screening and to provide additional supports for struggling students this school year. The Alberta Teachers Association says the screening tests take significant time from student learning and has little to no value. Well, today is the final day for thousands of healthcare workers to cast their ballot in a strike vote. The group of workers, including licensed practical nurses and healthcare aides, contract talks between the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees and Alberta Health Services broke down last month. The union wants increased wages to reflect an increased workload. AHS says it respects the collective bargaining process and remains at the table committed to negotiating an agreement. Voting is just wrapped up. Results are expected to be released on Wednesday morning. Mark Carney's Liberal government will table its first budget tomorrow, while some business leaders hope for investments to improve trade. Many Calgarians are just focused on affordability. Jacqueline Wilson has more.
Finance Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne says Tuesday's federal budget will focus on building Canadian and buying Canadian, warning of deep cuts because of impacts from U.S. tariffs.
It's an investment budget. It's a generational shift.
But the shift some Calgarians are looking for is in the housing market.
Trying to find an affordable rental place is impossible these days.
I would like to see house prices a little bit more drop, because I know I have a couple of properties for myself and they skyrocketed, and I would love to have another property.
It's also a focus for Mayor Jeremy Farkas.
We're going to continue to advocate for needed investment in social and non-market housing.
Farkas says he hasn't been able to talk with Mark Carney yet, but has shared his priorities with Ottawa.
I've been talking about energy access for Alberta. We want to see continued investment in major transit infrastructure, such as the Green Line here locally. And then we also want to see greater attention brought to, say, sentencing and bail reforms.
In his statement, Alberta's finance minister said he's hoping Ottawa will, quote, build the infrastructure pipelines and trade corridors that attract investment, create jobs, and make life more affordable for families. Meanwhile, the Calgary Chamber of Commerce's attention is set on what's being done to increase economic capacity nationally.
Diversifying our export opportunities, but also diversifying the sectors that are well positioned to export. We've seen an increased capacity, conversation around capacity for LNG. We've seen that sector take off. We've seen more around critical minerals. We've seen more around data centers.
Some economists predict the deficit will hit $75 billion. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, the Liberals have a minority government, so they'll need some help from the opposition parties or abstentions to pass the budget tomorrow. If it doesn't pass, then it shows a lack of confidence, and that could trigger an election. Let's bring in Danielle for a first look at the weather, and we are at the point where we're seeing those cooler mornings as you wake up.
Yeah, layers are necessary. They were necessary today and even for tomorrow, of course, and pretty much as we go forward here this year, because yes, we'll be dealing with wind chill. You're looking at a wind chill of about -5, -6 at 8 a.m. So cool to start, but getting up to a high of 7. Lots of sunshine out there for tomorrow. And another key thing for tomorrow, the winds will be calmer compared to today. Today we had gusts around 40 kilometers per hour, and tomorrow it should be less than 20. So overall, a very nice day. Wednesday, not so nice. We'll talk about Wednesday coming up.
Thank you, Danielle. A couple of Alberta ski resorts are opening sooner than planned. Sunshine Village kicked off its season on Sunday. The resort was originally going to open November 7th, but this weekend's snow fast-tracked that timeline. Lake Louise says it will be opening tomorrow, which is 3 days earlier than expected. Both resorts have limited runs, which also means lift tickets are cheaper as well. Well, the fire department was called to Shoaldice Aquatic Center today. Just before 6 this morning, a call came in about high carbon monoxide levels. ATCO was called in to help determine the source. The fire department ventilated the pool and change room areas. The all clear was given just after 7 o'clock. Well, it is day 3 of the 11 days of remembrance at the Field of Crosses Memorial in Calgary. The sunset ceremony was held just after 5 o'clock. Today's sunrise and sunset services were held in honor of the Royal Canadian Air Force. About 3,700 crosses are in place along Memorial Drive, paying tribute to Southern Albertans who lost their lives serving their country. In addition, 120 crosses in the center of Parade Square represent the 120,000 Canadians who made the ultimate sacrifice. Well, still to come, a reminder to think before you drink. Families of people lost to impaired driving come together to launch a national campaign ahead of the holidays.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Premier Danielle Smith is thanking Saudi Arabia's energy minister for hosting her in the Middle Eastern country. Smith posting online that Abdulaziz bin Salman Al Saud has been hospitable. She says Saudi Arabia and Alberta can collaborate on energy development, environmental technology, and artificial intelligence. That's one reason why Smith says the province will open an international office in the Canadian Embassy in Abu Dhabi. Smith is visiting Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, promoting Alberta's energy industry. As the holiday season begins, Mad Calgary is asking drivers to think before they drink. The group launching its annual Project Red Ribbon campaign today with a mother's heartbreak and a first responder's warning at its core. Kevin Green reports.
3 times the legal drinking limit.
Sandy Jager lost her son Cameron to an impaired driver in Montana last year. Monday, she stood alongside police and paramedics, sharing a story she never wanted to tell.
Cam was an amazing young man who is taking the world on every minute of every day. He lived life to the fullest. He cared about his friends. He cared about his fire crews when he was a wildland firefighter. He cared about his family.
The driver who killed Cameron was more than 3 times the legal limit and left the scene. Jager says her family's grief fuels a message she hopes others hear.
She did not stop to provide assistance, which is our greatest heartbreak. She is serving time, but will likely be eligible for parole within the year. So her life continues. Our life sentence is to mourn him every day.
Every life lost is a tragedy we work tirelessly to avoid.
Calgary police say impaired driving isn't just a holiday problem and that every single death on the road is one too many.
The impact to other people who witness this, the impact to other community members, it's mammoth, and it's just so impactful and so unnecessary.
First responders see the aftermath up close and say the emotional cost can be devastating.
It does have an impact on their mental health and their well-being. We've even had tragedies where paramedics have responded to family members of their own family impacted by these incidents.
MAD's Project Red Ribbon runs until January 5th, urging Canadians to plan a sober ride home and display a red ribbon as a promise to drive safely. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
And red ribbons and decals are available from Mad Calgary and at Co-op wine, spirits and beer locations across the city. An 87-year-old woman has died after she was hit by a vehicle while crossing a street downtown on Saturday afternoon. The woman was struck in a marked crosswalk. According to investigators, the driver, a man in his 60s, was trying to turn left onto 9th Avenue Southeast. Police say speed and impairment are not believed to be factors in the collision. A ceremony was held in Lethbridge this weekend to raise awareness about the need for reforming the National Amber Alert. A petition was launched by family and friends of 6-year-old Darius McDougall, who disappeared while out camping with his family in September. Carson Marsuk reports.
Candles were lit and a pathway created to light the way home for Darius McDougall Saturday night in Lethbridge.
It's about hope, love, awareness,
And we've come together as a community this evening to light the way home for Darius, to show that we will never give up on him or his family.
Since his disappearance on September 21st, a petition has been created calling for a reform to Canada's Amber Alert system.
No Amber Alert was ever issued, and I realize there's a dangerous gap in our system. Police are unable to issue an alert without a confirmed proof of an abduction, even when a child is at risk. I began this petition so no family has to go through that silence again.
An extensive 11-day search for Darius turned up no sign of the Lethbridge boy. Hundreds of police officers and professional search and rescue crews looked day and night for him. Ronnie de Gagne feels there are too many cases of missing people disappearing without a trace.
They're vanishing near highways, they're vanishing near borders and national parks. And we fear these are areas that are being exploited by smugglers and traffickers, and we're advocating for national Amber Alert reform.
Police must believe a crime has been committed in order to trigger an Amber Alert. Right now in Alberta, it means the missing child must be in danger of serious harm or death, and there's enough information about the child, the abductor, or the mode of transportation, and officials must reasonably expect the child could be returned or the abductor captured. Police have said they don't believe Darius is a crime victim.
This is a petition that has that must be given worthy consideration. It must, because situations like Darius are tragic beyond belief. But I think we need law enforcement to weigh in before we move too much forward with changing laws and changing regulations.
The online petition has garnered nearly 15,000 signatures.
We're optimistic, but there's a long battle ahead and we're going to keep fighting.
While the family isn't giving up, they're asking the public to sign the petition and share his photo.
We're all here for one thing, and that's to bring Darius home.
Carson Marsuk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
RCMP say they are still gathering tips in the case, but will not say how many they have received. Well, the City of Calgary has slashed some pet adoption fees by more than half at their Animal Services Centre as they hope to get more animals adopted before winter hits. The adoption fee for a cat this month will be just under $85 plus tax, about half of the normal price. Dogs can be adopted for a $100 fee plus tax, about $125 cheaper than normal. The city says all adopted animals are spayed or neutered, vaccinated, and microchipped. Well, it will be somewhat of a cool start to pretty much every morning the rest of this week. Wear your layers. Danielle will have more in her forecast coming up.
Right, well, we're in early November. Today was a pretty nice day. We were a little above normal by about a few degrees in the city. It was a little breezy today, but the winds will be much calmer in all of southern Alberta for tomorrow, pretty much, except for Kerr's Nest Pass. Pincher Creek will still be a little breezy. 8 degrees was the high in the city. Normal is 5, so 3 degrees above normal. Regina and Saskatoon, Winnipeg got into the double digits, and so did Thunder Bay and much of southern Ontario and southern Quebec. Montreal got into the teens today. All right, radar and satellite. There is a stateside system that will remain mostly stateside. We will get some peaks of moisture, we already have in the far south, and that's the potential even as we head through the next few hours, and then things will quiet down. Really, we have the potential of isolated snowflakes in the far south up until about 5 o'clock in the morning, and then that chance is gone. The roads may be a little slick in the far south early in the morning. For Calgary, though, we're just looking at the cloud cover clearing out tonight, so mainly sunny skies for tomorrow. It's Wednesday that we should talk about here. So Wednesday, we're going to have some of this moisture make its way over to our side of the Rockies. Because of temperatures, there's that potential, as you can see by the pink here, that we may even have some freezing rain. So this is the risk in Calgary, also just outside of Calgary, Cochrane, even down Highway 2 as well. Then it will switch over to some raindrops. So we may even see some snowflakes mixed in with this as well. So mixed precipitation is what you can expect. This is a look at Wednesday morning. Roads may be a little slick as well. We'll keep you posted here at CTV. But basically, that's the chance for Wednesday. This system, though, will predominantly affect central Alberta, as you can see here, where they're looking at more consistent, widespread snowfall from this and the risk of freezing rain as well. All right, longer range forecast, 7 degrees for tomorrow. Just keep in mind again that it's cool to start, so you're looking at a wind chill of about -5 at 8 a.m. So cool to start. Layers are a good thing to have for tomorrow. Winds are calm and the sunshine will be out. Wednesday, more cloud cover, good chance of some rainfall, and also the chance of freezing rain as well, just a high of 4. Our best chance to get into the double digits this week is Thursday, and it'll be just barely, but 10 degrees is the forecast high.
Thank you, Danielle. Their football season may be over, but the team feels it is heading in the right direction. The Calgary Stampeders reflect on the year that was and look ahead to next season. Well, the season is over for the Calgary Stampeders. The BC Lions beating them 33-30 in the Western semifinal on Saturday. Despite the loss, the team is hoping this season is something they can build on. Glenn Campbell reports.
As tough as Saturday's 33-30 walk-off loss to the BC Lions was, the Calgary Stampeders made some big strides in 2025. The Stamps went from a team that finished in last place overall with only 5 wins to a team that finished third in the West with 11 victories.
It's a tough loss, no doubt about it, but I want to make sure the guys are proud of what they accomplished. 11 wins and more so just some great selfless people and some great teammates and some guys that certainly they gave everything they had, and as a coach you can't really ask for more than that.
Now that the season's over, Dickinson has to turn his attention to free agency, and like every year, the Stamps have a lot. One of the big priorities will be signing running back Dedrick Mills, who led the league in rushing.
Man, I love Calgary, man. I love being here. I've been here, like I said, my whole career since I've been in the CFL. Don't want to change nothing about it. If I get the opportunity to come back, I will. I just love it here, man. That's all I got to say.
Last year, the Stamps dipped into free agency in a big way. This year, they'll look to add some players, but it sounds like they'd like to take care of their own first.
I do think there's a bunch of guys on our team that I would like to make sure that they are Calgary Stampeders if they're playing in the CFL. So it's just you try to find common ground, and I do believe if they want to be here, obviously, and we want them back, we can do that. We'll find the right fit and move forward as a team.
The loss to the Lions will be tough to get over, but with the positive strides taken on and off the field, there's no reason to believe the Stamps won't be even better in 2026.
Absolutely. Like I said, this is a great building year. Not how we wanted to finish, but got a lot of guys coming back, and let's get those top priorities back and add a few more pieces in February as well. So I'm very excited. Hopefully, they still want me back, and yeah, we can run this thing back.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
And something to look forward to for fans, the Grey Cup will be played here in Calgary next season. That's it for our show tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.